The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint, Maxima Fishing Line, and Okuma.
Hi there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. I'd like to start things off this week by letting you know about a video that I just posted at thefisherman.com entitled Snag and Don't Drop Just Yet. That's a follow-up video to a printed article that I recently wrote, and it outlines the method of snagging and dropping live bunker for big striped bass that I use when wetsuiting the surf, and I don't have the luxury of carrying two rods with me. If this is the type of fishing that you do in the surf, be sure to give it a look. I'm sure it'll help you out. And up next, we have a big event this Saturday in Rhode Island, the 11th annual Fluke till you puke tournament. Now, entry to this tournament is just $45 for adults and $40 for juniors, and they have a bunch of calcuttas for likes of bluefish, non-gamefish, and more. Now, they also have separate women's, juniors, and kayak divisions, so there's something for everyone. So be sure to check out the card at the upper right-hand corner of the video right now for complete details. All right, moving on into Connecticut, we're going to start off with the solid black sea bass fishing that's going on inside Long Island Sound right now. And Captain TJ at Rock and Roll Charters out of Clinton has been finding really good numbers of fish just a short steam from the dock. He also has been changing things up at times, targeting striped bass, bluefish, and scup at different stages of the tide for a great mixed bag opportunity right now. And I heard from Captain Greg of the Black Hawk sailing out of Niantic, and he's begun his night striped bass trips, and they kicked off with some really good sized fish up to 30 plus pounds this week. Now, these trips are set by reservation only, and Captain Greg plans them around specific tides, so give him a call or check out their website to see when the next one is scheduled and to reserve your spot on the boat. Okay, moving on into Rhode Island, fluke fishing is a best bet right now, and this comes just in time for the big Fluke till you puke tournament, as noted in my intro. And Captain Brian Bacon of Big Game Sport Fishing, the guys who run this tournament for you, he said he's been connecting with some really good fluke off the South County beaches, with recent fish tipping the scale in excess of 10 pounds. And then out around Block Island, there's a mix of small bluefish, fluke, and increasing size, as well as numbers of striped bass. We heard from the guys on the Sea Devil who've been doing really well trolling both bunker spoons and frames on wire around the island. And you know, with fish in excess of 60 pounds landed off the south shore of Long Island over the last week, coupled with the full moon next Monday, my guess is that the first really good shot of big bass should hit the island any day now. Then up in Massachusetts, the guys at the Goose Hummock in both Orleans and Dennis, as they have two stores on the Cape to meet all your needs, report some solid action on striped bass all around the Cape, from Cape Cod Bay up to P-Town and on down to backside beaches. But the big news remains that tuna that has been seen really from Chatham all the way up to Truro, with lots of fish from about 60 to 80 plus inches being seen, and there's been quite a few landed as well. Fish have been taken on the troll as well as casting lures. And for a look at some tips on taking tuna on spinning gear, be sure to check out the June issue of the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, as Captain Matt Paracchio outlines how he targets bluefin tuna off the Cape from his center console. And then lastly, up in Gloucester, the Yankee fleet has been finding great numbers of pollock and haddock on both their regular trips as well as their special 2-day overnight trips in the Gulf of Maine. They've been hitting a lot of oddball fish as well, like some monkfish and even a big 42-inch halibut last week. All right, well, there you have it. I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out into the water this weekend.
The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint, Maxima Fishing Line, and Okuma.